What's up guys? Hopefully you're all having a good day. So it is Tuesday, the 10th of December 2024. So I thought that I wanted to talk more about what I was talking about yesterday. Obviously as you guys will know, I did a couple of videos talking about how I didn't agree with the fact that people were being branded as trolls, bullies, and jealous haters just for posting negative comments or having a negative opinion on these family vloggers and what they do. And I stand by a lot of what I said in the videos yesterday. As I said, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's a little bit unfair that people are branded as trolls, or bullies or jealous haters just for having a negative opinion on, these family vloggers and having a negative opinion on what they do. It's not against the law for people to have a negative opinion on what they do. It's not against the law for people to disagree with what they do. It's not against the law for people to have an issue with what they do or for people to not like what they do. It's perfectly fine for people to not like what they do. I think it looks worse when people actually have a positive opinion on what they do. As far as I'm concerned, nobody should really have a positive opinion on these family vloggers and what they do. It just makes them look, incredibly shameful, having such a positive opinion on what they do, when it's very clear what they're doing. They are exploiting their kids. And unfortunately, some people are too blind and stupid to be able to see that. Obviously, you have to be blind and stupid to not be able to see that, and that is a hate for a lot of people, sadly. At the end of the day, I look at the Inhams, right, the iFam. They always, whenever anyone posts a negative comment, they always brand that person. That person's always branded a bully by the iFam. But the iFam are the biggest bullies of the lot. They're the ones who are basically bullying people. It's funny how they have the audacity to call other people bullies, when they're the ones that are basically bullying people who don't have the same opinion that they do. They quite clearly don't like the fact that people don't have the same opinion as them. They want every single person to have the same opinion that they have, and to have that same opinion that they do. But they need to start accepting that not everyone is going to have the same opinion that they have, or is going to agree, have a positive opinion. It's like people don't deserve to be attacked for having a negative opinion on what these family vloggers do. No, there's not a single person who ever deserves that. No one ever deserves to be attacked just because they have a negative opinion on what these family vloggers do. It's not that. At the end of the day, it's not against the law for somebody to have a negative opinion on that. It's not against the law for people to disagree with that, or for people to not like what they do. It's 2024. People are going to have that opinion where they don't like what the family vloggers do, and they're entitled to voice that opinion. It feels like the iFam are allowed to voice their opinions and are allowed to have their opinions, but other people are not allowed to have their opinions. And are not allowed to voice their opinions. And I'm sick of people being made to feel like they're not allowed to voice their opinions, because they're perfectly well within their rights to do that. Whether it's a positive opinion, whether it's a negative opinion, they are entitled to voice that opinion. It's not against the law for somebody to have to voice their opinion, for somebody to voice their opinion on what these family vloggers do, whether that be positive, whether that be negative. You know, it's a free country. People are allowed to have their own opinions. But they shouldn't be being, you know, people shouldn't be being branded as bullies or trolls or jealous haters just for having a negative opinion on these family vloggers and what they do. There is not a single person who deserves that. There's not a single person who deserves to be branded as a troll, a bully or a jealous hater simply because they don't like these family vloggers or they don't agree with what they do. You know, people have good reasons for why they don't agree with what they do. You know, I have good reasons for why I don't agree with what they do. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't really bother me what the IFAM or anyone else thinks of me, to be honest with you. I've never really, you know, heard that much about what the IFAM think of me or what the IFAM think of my opinions. You know, as far as I'm concerned, their opinion, their opinion of me isn't something that bothers me. You know, I'm just not, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just not gonna have people branding me a troll or a bully or a jealous hater just because I have a negative opinion, just because I don't like, I don't like them or don't like what they do. You know, just because you don't like something, you don't like you don't like what they do, that doesn't make a person a bully or a troll or a jealous hater. It doesn't make them any of those things. You know, this just had to be said. And I keep raising this point because it's a point that has to be made. Just because somebody has a negative opinion on these family vloggers and what they do, doesn't mean they deserve to be branded as a troll or a bully or a jealous hater or as anything else, or be branded as anything else for that matter. You know, it's 2024. You know, people are allowed to have a negative opinion on these family vloggers and what they do. You know, as I said, it really just feels like you're not allowed to have a negative opinion on what they do. That's basically it feels like. That's what some people are saying. It feels like some people are saying that you're not allowed to have a negative opinion on these family vloggers or have a negative opinion on what they do. You know. But yeah, you know, we're totally within our rights to it, you know, to have that opinion, you know, and to voice our opinion, regardless, you know, whether that be a positive opinion, whether that be a negative opinion, you know. It's not our, you know, how is it anybody else's fault if these family vloggers have this inability to be able to take criticism, which is very clear to see. You know, it's they cannot take any sort of criticism. You know, you only have to you only have to post a comment that is even that's only slightly critical, and you get blocked. You know, the comment that you post doesn't have to be majorly critical. It only has to be slightly critical, and they will block you because they cannot stand any sort of criticism. You know, even if it was like positive criticism. Because there is such thing as positive criticism, and you know, as positive criticism, you know. But unfortunately, when it comes to these family vloggers, positive criticism is something that will always be seen as negative criticism, and they will block people even when they're not. You know, I've seen these family vloggers. You know, we've seen it many times now where family vloggers have blocked. These family vloggers have actually blocked people who weren't actually trying to be negative in any particular way. You know, I've seen a lot of people say they have been blocked by these family vloggers for posting comments that weren't particularly negative or weren't meant in a negative way. And that goes to prove a point, you know, the fact that they're blocking people who weren't even trying to be negative in the first place. But obviously they've seen it as, you know, they've seen these comments as the person trying to be negative, and they've chosen to block that person for basically absolutely no reason. But, you know, and what it comes down to at the end of the day is that these family vloggers, You know, they're happy to put their kids out there online. They're happy to share their lives and broadcast their lives. But they can't take any sort, they just cannot take any sort of criticism. You know, they have that inability to be able to handle any sort of criticism. And my viewpoint is they shouldn't be doing YouTube or anything else for that matter if they cannot take any sort of criticism. It's like, how can you continue vlogging or continue doing what you do if you can't take any sort of criticism? Because it's 2024. Whether these family vloggers like it or not, they are going to be criticised for certain things. You know, people are going to criticise them, you know, from time to time. And they need to start dealing with that. They need to learn to start accepting that. You know, they need to learn to start handling criticism instead of blocking people who dare to criticize, who dare to, you know, they hate people who dare to criticize them. You know, they're all happy and lovey-dovey when people are up their backsides, you know, blowing dust up their asses, But you post a comment that's even slightly critical, and they, you know, you can see they get so offended by it. You know, this is what makes me laugh with the iFam, is the fact that they clearly get so offended, you know, they clearly get so offended by other people's opinions. This is what makes me laugh, is it's like, why do the iFam get so offended by other people's opinions? This is one of those things that I don't understand. Is why the iFam gets so offended by other people's opinions. Because they shouldn't be getting, you know, there's no need for them to be getting so offended by other people's opinions. You know, it's just, like, it's hilarious. And the other thing I don't understand is, why is it when someone posts a negative comment, that person is automatically branded as a troll or a hater or a troll or a bully or a jealous hater? You know, I know that, I mean, this just had to be said. You know, it's like, you can really see that the iFam can't stand, can't stand criticism. You know, they hate being criticised for anything, and that is so clear to see. You know, they can't handle criticism, you know, and they've never been able to handle that. And this is not just a problem with the Inhams or whatever. It's a problem with a lot. It's something that a lot of family vloggers have in common. When you look at these family vloggers, it's actually it's actually one of their biggest weaknesses. One of their biggest weaknesses is their ability to actually be able to take any sort of criticism. They don't have the ability to be able to handle that. And that is the biggest reason for a lot of their downfalls, is they can't take any sort of criticism. And that has been a problem with a lot of these family vloggers for a very long time, is they've never really been able to take criticism. It's like they're happy to put their kids out there online and share their lives and do what they do. But they can't stand being criticised for anything. They can't stand, the fact that people, it's like they need to accept the people that from time to time people will criticise them. It's gonna happen. And if they don't like criticism, don't fucking do YouTube. If you cannot handle that. It's like, what's the point in doing vlogging and whatnot if you don't have that ability to be able to handle criticism? There's no point continuing vlogging or doing what you're doing if you cannot handle that. It's a biggest problem with a lot of these family vloggers, and it's becoming so blatantly clear to see, is they cannot handle any sort of criticism. It's as simple as that. I hope you enjoyed this short video, or this little video, and I'll see you for another one probably this afternoon. See you later, guys. Bye bye.